for giving this opportunity to me to be with you all. And congratulations also that this being one topic. Other topic is what? Yes, to achieve anything, we have to completely dedicate. But what is to be achieved? That also calls for our intellectual subtlety and purity. Take any examples. If you want to have a healthy life, a lifelong dedication. If you want to have a financially sound situation position, lifelong you have to dedicate. If you want to be a social being with full name and fame and publicity, again, whenever you stop working for it, that also stops. When you reduce working for it, that also reduces. And when you want to be in the topmost position, aggressively you have to be. Keep on working in that particular direction. That's why you see in the world that the people to be in limelight, wanting to be recognized by the world, without caring their age, without caring their what do you call health, etc. Also, to become or remain as famous or on the top, they keep on doing those things even beyond 70 years, 75, 80, 85. Still, why they are in that various fields, a political field, a cinema field, or even sports field. 75 years still you are in sports. 80 years you are still in cinema. 80 years. You understand? Why? Because they want to remain in that recognized position. Then for that, how much struggle they have to go through. In fact, they are the yogis in brackets worldly, isn't it? In the same way, spiritually also, if one wants to evolve, by now it must be very clear and understanding that it calls for a total dedication. Without doubt, that even the basic things also cannot be understood, basic sadhana also cannot be done. Without full dedication, even Viveka Vairagya Adi Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampada also remains vague in our understanding. दूर की बात है doing those sadhanas and mastering them, which is minimum qualification in Vedanta. Then what to talk about studying the Prakarana Granthas, the Bhagavad Gitas, the Upanishads, and going deep into the study with the help of Bhagavan Adi Shankara's Bhashyas, retaining all that knowledge more difficult than living only that. And for that, we need to be in totally different atmosphere. To be in that atmosphere, the present atmosphere, our surroundings are the comfort zones to which we are enslaved and to which we are bound. We have to give them up. And how much again Viveka Vairagya required to give them up? How much we are in an attachment to these things? How much painful to give up anything to which we are attached to? Now, with all these, one thing to be understood is to, and one of the beautiful signs of an evolving spiritual seeker is knowing that I'm at such a lowest level of evolution, knowing that, he will be so humble, oh, so egoless he is. How can I have ego that when I have not evolved at all? At no level of my inner masteries and a low level of the outer achievements, I have succeeded or I have reached a great extent. How can I be egoist? Even if I scale some heights, still plenty are there for me to achieve. So his attention is only in knowing what to do and in doing what he knows. He is not bothered about his egos, his arrogances. He is wanting to defeat people. He is wanting to prove something in the world. These are all bachpana. Those who are not blossomed in their intellect, it is their job. They do so. The immature people. The matured people simply, humbly, they are silently struggling within and without in doing those things by which they evolve. Right? So, thank you to the Lord and all the rishis who, by giving us this opportunity, letting us know our avkat, where do we stand today. And luckily, if you are little interested in Sattler, they are also teaching us where we have to reach. And if you have real seriousness, sincerity, every day through the classes, they are teaching us how to reach to those heights also. And we are true to ourselves, definitely we take up all this and thus help ourselves. So, with all our humbleness, salutations, prostrations at the feet of the masters and gurus, let us have our today's session also of Mangalacharana Shloka, Sankalpa, and Upanishad Adhyanam for some time. Chandogya Upanishad, we have taken up for study. First chapter, the second Khanda. After listening in the first Khanda, the Udgita Mahima as well as the compulsion from within created, not nobody imposed from outside, but within we have realized the compulsion of doing the Udgita Upasana. Shruti Mata started by telling us that you must do Udgita Upasana. You means anybody who wants to evolve. Why the Udgita Upasana to be done? In that first Khanda, the Udgita Mahima is told to us along with Falashruti. है ना? Om ityetadaksharam udgitam upasita. Isn't it? It started like that. Then the Mahima is told. In the second Khanda, which is under discussion, how the Udgita Upasana has to be done in the beginning told. So through those efforts, definitely we are going to fail, but through those efforts, we are getting a habit of putting efforts. So the Udgita Upasana is done with the Indriyas. So Indriyas themselves are the Udgitakya Jyoti Rupa Deva. So Udgita named Jyoti Rupa Deva is the Indriya only. One Indriya is taken up. Nasikya Pranam Udgitam Upasita, they have done. And the other ones. But they are hit by the Asuras. Therefore, in those fields, 100% successful cannot. That means what? At the Indriya level, nobody can be perfect permanently. Always there's a risk and danger of being hit by the Asuras. Then what is the way? Discover something higher. With the help of which, yes, at the Indriya level, you are able to do the best and transcend them. That is Mukhya Prana Upasana. Today, tomorrow, slowly we are entering into that subject. Okay, now what yesterday exhaustively we studied for 20 minutes, the entire introduction or summary of what is seen. Today we are not going to see because it was exhaustively explained. What are the things we covered yesterday? Are who are Devatas? Point one. What is the meaning of Devatas doing Udgita Upasana with regard to the Indriyas? 2. 3. Who are Asuras? 4. What is the meaning that the Asuras are hitting? Vividuhu. The Indriyas with Papa. Papmana Viddaha is the word, no? What is the meaning of that? Exhaustively we saw yesterday. Then what are the consequences? And it is to be understood and it should be accepted. It is like that. And that means what? As again, I will not quote so many Upanishads, it takes time. That when we are at the Upadhi level, there will be definitely vyadhi, adi. Like being in the world, you cannot solve the worldly problems. How to solve the worldly problem? By transcending the world. Like being in the body, you cannot solve the body's problems of old age or disease or death. We have to transcend the body. Then only we can, isn't it? Being in the outer world of competitions, the problem of ups and downs, successes and failures, victories and defeats, you cannot transcend. You cannot always be successful. You have to transcend that only, isn't it? The permanent is only through transcendence, permanent solution. Hope you are able to grasp it. Today we will see after the Shrotrendriya, the Mana also. The Devatas have done the Mana Udgita Upasana. So what is the meaning of that? And how the Rakshasas hit the Mana with the Papa. Then what is therefore the consequence of it? How the mind behaves because of that. How therefore forget about excelling in spiritual life. Even in maintaining our inner peace and happiness, we fail, and all our outer life also confusing, chaotic, and only creating problems for ourselves and outside. Why? The mind is hit by the Papa. Who is doing that? The Asura. And who is Asura? Our own child. Don't forget even one sentence of Upanishad, the past, else some link will be missed. What is that sentence we are referring here? He first only. Devasura vai yatra sanyetire ubaye prajapatyaha. Both of them, Devatas and Asuras, ubaye prajapatyaha. And who is Prajapati? I myself. The one who has got Purushartha Samarthya. And there are no Devatas outside or the Asuras outside, spiritually. They are inside only. Outside in the Adi Bhautika and in the Adi Daivika Jagat, also there are there. Adi Bhautika Jagat, we see the people themselves in the form of Asura. In the Adi Daivika, we see in the Purana Itihasas continuously. So that is there. But in the spiritual language, it is inside only. We only are we only are Devatas, we only are Asuras. Pause and slowly start contemplating all these subtle things we start grasping, which is very essential. Now, before doing something to evolve, we must know first of all clearly beyond doubt all these aspects. Now, here we are spending 3-4 minutes in our Mangalacharana Shloka Sankalpa and chanting of 7 mantras. Then we do the study. Welcome, friends. ॐ ॐ ॐ ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहैः ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्यासम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंश ऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः ॐ यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वम् ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यम् ॐ निधये सर्वविद्यानाम् ॐ ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवम् ॐ व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय ॐ सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यम् ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् ॐ विदिताखिलशास्त्रसुधाजलधे ॐ ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्म भक्ति योग धर्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः छान्दोग्योपनिषदः आचार्येभ्यो नमः संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपानुग्रहेण उपनिषदुक्त ब्रह्मात्मैक्यबोधेन अस्मिन् क्षणे एव मोक्ष कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणेतिहास सन्तवाङ्मयोक्त साध्य साधनानुभव सिद्ध्यर्थं तत्रोक्त ऋषिमुनिगुरुदेवता दर्शनानुग्रहानुभव प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगत्यर्थं धर्म संस्थापकानां नित्य निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थं श्रीराम मंदिरवत् शिव कृष्णादि मंदिरादीनां पुनरवाप्ति तेषु निरंतर शास्त्र अध्ययनादीनां द्वारा भारतवर्षस्य सनातन धर्मस्य बाह्याभ्यंतर शत्रु विघ्न शाश्वत समूल निर्मूलन पूर्वक भारतवर्षे विश्वे च अस्मात् क्षणादारभ्य वैदिक हैंदव संस्कृतेः धर्ममोक्ष पुरुषार्थानां सुसंप्रतिष्ठा अवाप्त्यर्थम् अस्यां कक्षायाम् आगतानां संकल्पित सत्कर्मसु दिग्विजयः तेषां हृदये परब्रह्मादीनां प्रति भक्त्यादीनां द्वारा जन्म साफल्यार्थम् अनेक शास्त्राणाम् अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये सामवेदांतर्गत छांदोग्योपनिषदः आद्य शंकर भाष्य सहित अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्नं मोक्षार्थं वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम सच्चिदानंद सांद्राय सर्वातीताय साक्षिणे नमः श्री देशिकेन्द्राय शिवाय शिवघातिने। ओम आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणः चक्षुः श्रोत्रम् अथो बलम् इन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्तु अनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरते ये उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तो ओम शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ओम अथ प्रथमोऽध्यायः द्वितीयः खण्डः। फर्स्ट 7 मन्त्रास्। ओम देवासुराः वै यत्र संयेतिरे उभये प्राजापत्याः ततः देवाः उद्गीतमाजह्रुः अनेन एनान् अभिभविष्यामः इति तेह नासिक्यं प्राणम् उद्गीतम् उपासाञ्चक्रिरे तगम्ह आसुराः पाप्मना विविदुः तस्मात् तेन उभयं जिघ्रते सुरभि च दुर्गन्धि च पाप्मना हि एषः विद्धः। अतः वाचमुद्गीतमुपासाञ्चक्रिरे तागम्ह असुराः पाप्मना विविदुः तस्मात् तया उभयं वदति सत्यं चानृतं च पाप्मना हि एषा विद्धा। अतः चक्षुरुद्गीतमुपासाञ्चक्रिरे ततः असुराः पाप्मना विविदुः तस्मात् तेन उभयं पश्यति दर्शनीयं च अदर्शनीयं च पाप्मना हि एतत् विद्धम्। अतः श्रोत्रमुद्गीतमुपासाञ्चक्रिरे ततः असुराः पाप्मना विविदुः तस्मात् तेन उभयं शृणोति श्रवणीयं च अश्रवणीयं च पाप्मना हि एतत् विद्धम्। अतः मन उद्गीतमुपासाञ्चक्रिरे ततः असुराः पाप्मना विविदुः तस्मात् तेन उभयगं संकल्पनीयं च असंकल्पनीयं च पाप्मना हि एतत् विद्धम्। अतः यः एव अयं मुख्यः प्राणः तमुद्गीतमुपासाञ्चक्रिरे तगम्ह असुराः ऋत्वा विदध्वंसुः यथा अश्मानम् आकणं ऋत्वा विध्वगंसेत एवं यथा अश्मानमाकणं ऋत्वा विध्वगंसते एवगम्ह एव स विध्वगंसते य एवं विधि पापं कामयते य च एनम् अभिदासति सः एषः अश्माकणः। Up to this is enough of chanting. Now in the study we have done up to the 5th mantra atah shrotram udgitam upasan chakrire. Now in the beginning only we are giving the homework. Ki with the shastras available to you, heard by you, we have heard, spent some time. Then in the Shastra or through the Shastra, the Lord, what are the things He has allowed us to do with the Upadhis? Isn't it? Make a notes of it, make a list of it. Every one of them. Point 1. Point 2. What are the opposite of it? Which are obvious only. So Shastra told with the Vani to speak this. Opposite of what these are this. Therefore, they are not told by the Shastra. Second point. Third, now, look within ourselves. From our childhood till now, है at random, remembering various occasions, happenings, incidents, whichever we can remember. See what have we done during those periods of our past life. Did we live like what is said in the Shastras, or we have lived opposite to the Shastra? And if you observe, let us not feel so bad or ashamed because we are only just started evolving. If we see more than 70-80% of our lives living with all faculties, we lived against our Shastras only. 70-80%. 20% we lived according to Shastra, also not because we knew Shastra, but by incidents or accident. Why? Because we have not studied them only, first of all. Isn't it? We have not studied them at all. Then how do we know? We went on living throughout our life अंधेरे में तीर मारते हुए उसमें 10-20% तीर लगा, the 80% नहीं लगा वो. Remember, with every of the faculties, you take everything as an example only. No, what I can tell, if I start again, it takes a lot of time. Even to start with, let us talk again about our Sthula Sharira only. Did we study the Shastra of the Sharira, anatomy of the Shastra, Sharira, physiology of the Shastra, Sharira? Did we understand? Even in your own modern allopathy language or in the ancient Indian Ayurveda language, that the bodies are made by the Prakriti and the Prakriti say made bodies have these three Prakritis within them technically in the Ayurvedic language called as the Kapha Prakriti, the Vata Prakriti, the Pitta Prakriti, isn't it? Then each individual have one of these three predominant and the other two subservient, isn't it? Thereafter, when this Prakriti is predominant, these are the positives, these are negatives. So these are the consumables, these are non-consumables. Arey bhai, these are all the Shastra. Without studying all of that, we just lived the life whole, almost going to die now. अब शास्त्र पढ़ा ही नहीं तो हाउ डू वी नो व्हाट इज राइट और व्हाट इज रॉन्ग. दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड अंधेरे में तीर मारते गए. We just somehow pulled on. Isn't it? Just about the Sharira we spoke about. So too the Nasikyam Pranam. Then the most important is Chakshu. Atha ha Chakshur Udgitam Upasan Chakrire. Why the Chakshus are given? What has to be seen with that Chakshus? How to protect that Chakshu for the long life? Where is the Chakshu Sambandhi Shastra we studied? Earlier we spoke about the entire body. Now one by one limb, Sukshma, the Indriyas we are talking. So first body we spoke, now the Chakshu. We have never studied the minimum basic ophthalmology. And beyond that, the beauty of the ability to see. Should we not protect it for the complete life? But what have we done or lived or used our eyes as per Shastra? Nothing. That is why so many of the headaches because of the eye and because of watching all unwanted things, the mind is also disturbed. Eye itself is spoiled very young age, chashme laga ke. Now you understood how the life is misguided or misled by us, our own selves. Don't blame anyone. It is I who am supposed to learn all these things called as the Shastra. Then I have to protect every one of them. Then you have to, otherwise you have to pay for it. They are all paying for our ignorance and misbehavior. The miseries are our payments for our ignorance and misbehavior. and we cannot justify them. We are human beings. We are supposed to learn. We have to be wise. There is no option. And like that is why you see, just like a worldly person suffers spiritually because of his spiritual ignorance, the spiritual person suffers worldly, that means at the body level, because of the bodily ignorance. How many great so called spiritual Mahatmas suffer bodily? They are not. Why? Because that body knowledge they have not got. They have not disciplined it there. उसको भी उनको भी पे करना पड़ता है. हाँ, they are beyond the Sharira, they are always in the Atma Tadatmya, and they left this body for the Lord to take care, and they know it is all Prarabdha. These are all different, but basically everybody has to know every knowledge. Is it understandable? So we spoke about Chakshuhu remaining already discussed. Next one was the most important, the Shrotram Udgitam Upasan Chakrire. What a precious gift of ears to listen to the sounds. I know. I'm talking both. One is how to protect the ears for its longevity. Two, what for the ears ability to listen has to be used for our total life's beauty, total life's happiness, total life's evolution. First of all, the overusing of the ears, again because of that, the ear problem, through the ear, the entire body problem, and also mind also suffering because of listening to all nonsense. Isn't it? What are we doing throughout life? That is the meaning of Shrotram Udgitam Upasan Chakrire. Then we are trying to do it. Asuraha Papmana Vividuho. Continuously the asuras are hitting us by papa, so much so that only asuras are living in our life or expressing through us. Like in Hindu Indian country, the Hinduism always is in insecurity and fear. Right from the cause of constitution up to all politicians, even the people are very weak, very timid, very bhogi type, very selfish, the Hindus. Therefore, they don't fight for Sanatan Dharma. With all its divinity and glory and beauty, we are slaves in our own country. Hindus, we are not totally free. That's our ignorance. You can't blame anybody. I can't blame others. I'm only mentioning that the constitution select their reason. But basic reason is me, the Hindu. No, if we all Hindus come together and fight out doing the required sacrifices, maybe 10, 20 years, whole country can be Sanatan Dharma. Every education system can be, along with the modern knowledge, the Gita, Upanishads are taught. Every Hindu, as it is expected to be. First is a moksha purusharthi, then the dharma purusharthi. No Hindu is a artha and kami. This is the glory of Hinduism, no? That can be brought, but we are slaves in our own country. Within ourselves. Same way, if we see from this standpoint, our life lived through all faculties is 90% asura only, 10% by default the daivya. That's why at every body level, limbs level, we continuously crave for the world, and they give us very bit of joy they give up, but thereafter they enslave us only. Like nowadays, all these money schemes that are there. तुम 10,000 दे दो, एक साल में 1 लाख देंगे, आप देखते जाओ. So that's how the 2 months they give 10,000. Then the fourth month elope हो जाते हैं सारे पैसे लेकर. And the Bewakoof people, they keep on giving. How can you expect that something is given and three times of it somebody will give? He is cheating somewhere, then only he can give you. So today somewhere he is cheating and giving you. Tomorrow he will cheat you and give somewhere. जिसका दिमाग काम नहीं करता, they invest. And they lose everything only. So are you able to relate those examples? Cheated by the Asura Gunas. They give the promise of little pleasures from the world, like sweets put on the tongue. It is tasty. Such a promising sukha it is giving, but later on You get addicted to the sweets, it leads right from diabetics to the entire bodily problems, and the whole mind is attending only to that. You are maintaining your own health only consumes the whole life. You can't take care of your family, we cannot do the duties. Forget about serving the world, forget about remembering God, and never it occurs about the spirituality aham brahmas. हम जिंदगी भर उसी में अटक गए. You have to understand these topics in that complete way. And everything of Upanishad is every time related to all of us. It is talking about us only. The two uses. One us is the real Brahman, the real self. The other one is the mistaken self with all his mischiefs. The mischief is we are allowing the asuras to overpower us. That's it. We are allowing. That we are allowing is capitals, quotes. Nobody else. So we have seen up to this. These are the Vacham, then Chakshuhu, then Shrotra. And the Vacham is the Upanishad is so beautiful, and even with so all precise thing, precise way of presentation, the Chandogya Upanishad became so big. Upanishad cannot explain everything. It expects us to think little more. For example, by saying the Vani, it means it covered all the karmendriyas. Now, by saying Chakshu and Shrotram, all the remaining three Jnanendriyas also have to be included. That the Devatas are trying to do the Udgita Upasana of them, Asuras are hitting with Papa. Mind you, what is Papa? First, Asuras using the weapon called Papa to hit the Indriyas. Now, what is Papa? Below that, two branches. One, Adharma. Second is Asanga. Asanga, let us say. Asanga. Or then here, the Adharma means what? Against the Shastras. By knowing it or by not knowing Shastra, living life against Shastra is Adharma. Here, what is the Asangata or Asangata? Here, Asanga means Asangami attachment. The four things. One is feeling oneself to be separate from total. Two, having the abhimana or arrogance. Three, full of ragadvesha. Four, living at that indriya level for the bhoga. Four are the things called as the asanga. Okay? Don't forget. So, up to this, we have seen the how the devatas are trying to do the Udgita Upasana, the asuras are eating by the papa. Thereafter, the Ubhayam said no. In the first one, Ubhayam Vadati Satyam Chanrutam, then Ubhayam Pashyati Darshaniyam Adarsaniyam, then Ubhayam Shrunoti Shravaniyam Ashravaniyam means what? He is, first of all, wasting whole time only in living at the Indriya level. Second is what? In that also, most importantly or more predominantly, the Adarsaniyam, Ashravaniyam and Anrutam. In that only he is involved. With the eyes Darshaniyam, with the ear Shravaniyam, and with the Vani the Satyam. He is not able to do only. Oh, human being. So up to this we have seen Ataha Shrotram Udgitam Upasan Chakre Tadha Asuraha Papmana Vividho Tasmatena Ubhayam Shrunoti Shravaniyam cha because Papmana hi etat vidam. So the Asuras are hitting with the Papa, though it is looking like objectively somebody outsider coming and hitting. You have to be very conscious to understand the asura means our own inner ashastriya indriya pravrittis, which we only have encouraged, we only have promoted. Maybe out of ignorance so far. Now you have the knowledge. Then after having knowledge, if we don't change ourselves, then we are causing harm to ourselves. We are our own shatrus. Now, I will not give so many details. You know how much of the ashravaniyam with the ears we listen and destroy our mind. Do we need to listen about the bad about somebody from somebody? But how much we keep on giving our ears to listen? Why? Because the asura has hit our Indriya, Shrotra Indriya. Do we need to listen about those things so much that in our heart or mind the satyata of the jagat is established? Then the bhoga asaktis for the jagat are strengthened. Do we need to listen to them? But how much we expose our ears, irrespective of our age and our human dignity, etc. We keep on giving ear only to listen to those things which are making us bahirmukha, which are making us bhoga pradhana, which are taking us away from our own self. कान से वही सुनते जा रहे, वही सुनते जा रहे, अब तक शर्म नहीं कर. That means what? There is no देवता का एक क्या कहते हैं ना, देवता's even little iota of presence is there in us, total asura. Like to one of the any of the foreign countries you go, and there is a district. There is everything there, but not even one temple for us to go and have a darshan of the god. Not even one vegetarian restaurant to eat a proper food. पूरा वहां भोग भोग. ये क्या भाई जगह में कोई प्योर वेज रेस्टोरेंट है क्या बोलते हैं? नो, यहाँ ऐसा नहीं होते. एंड एनी रेस्टोरेंट गो नॉन वेज 99.9 100% dishes are only non veg. You have to go to kitchen and find your प्याज and टमाटर and eat and come. नहीं, ऐसा नहीं बनता. We can't think about thing without non veg. And is there any or temple there where I can go and say Krishna Rama? ऐसा कुछ नहीं. In the same way, with our Vani, with our eyes, with our ears, means Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, 100% occupied by the asuras only. Promoted by us, underline that point. Don't put the responsibility on anybody else. It is we. Yes, out of ignorance, and don't blame anyone. My father, mother never taught me, my education system never taught me. You don't blame. You did live such a wretched life that you are born at that time in this period of history where the entire education system is like that, and the parents and relatives, all of them are ashastriya. They themselves are asuras. What to do? You are the one who have. Now you change. Somewhere in another Brahmanda, you will be born where everything is sattvic, everything is daiviya. Focus on that in that way. Don't blame outside world. So, and every time when we study the Shastras, it is always about future. Learn from the past, behave well in the present, make a glorious future. Up to this understood about the Shravanendriya, how we have destroyed our entire life by giving our Shravanendriya to the Asuras. Dedya. And when you give your kingdom to all these, the whole country you give in the hands of all those who hate India, who hate Sanatan Dharma, they will destroy temples only, they will destroy our culture only. अब उसको आपने सौंप दिया, ऐसे होगा. I always am in fear. Again, tell myself because of a scriptural knowledge. The fear is, by mistake, if the Indian voters vote to somebody who don't have respect for India and Sanatan Dharma, and they come into power, enough 5 years for them for destroying everything. Very fearful. हमेशा डर लगता है. In the same way, how long we go on allowing the asuras in our life to dominate. If you give them power, they destroy only. Therefore, underlining point as an essence of what we have studied so far is, it is I in whose hands it is there, whether to promote the asuras or promote devatas within us. First thing. Thereafter, how to do that? Now think about it, plan and start doing it. No, it requires a lot of sacrifices. Yes, we never say no, it is a must. And it is so difficult, painful. Yeah, it is so difficult, painful for you to sit and listen to Upanishad. Do you think I don't know or what? Because I'm also going through. This class, we are through the years listening to the Tattva, that is, the Daiviya pravrittis are there in us. But for that, how much of the Asura vrittis we have to defeat? And the mind says, no, this is a coffee time, tea time, the jogging time, sleeping time, morning TV time, news time, calling friends time, calling children in America time. Hare Rama, everything is there. इतने चीजें साइड पे रखोगे तो you are able to come to class, isn't it? But after the class is over, the Deva is devalued in our life. Asuras are given permission, isn't it? Then they rule the whole day. See this whole subject in that way, you get a beautiful idea of the life and how to live it. Now, today we'll take up the most important one. What is it? The mind also. Mind represents the entire four antakarana. Like the Shrotra and Chakshuhu represented the Jnanendriyas and the Vacham represented the Karmendriya. What is the mind? Let us chant this mantra 2 times. Om Ataha Mana Udgitam Upasanchakrire Tadha Asuraha Papana Vividuho Tasmat Tena Ubayagam Sankalpaniyam Cha Asankalpaniyam Cha Papmana Hi Etat Vidham. Again. Athaha Mana Udgitam Upasanchakrire Tadha Asuraha Papmana Vividhuho Tasmat Tena Ubayagam Sankalpaniyam Cha Asankalpaniyam Cha Papmana Hi Etat Vidham. Athaha, the Mangalavachaka, again Athaha, Mana Udgitam Upasahan Chakrire. The Devata started doing the Mana Udgita Upasana. Mana is Vritti Pradhana. And in that Vritti, the Mana Vrittis are Sankalpa Vrittis. Mana Vrittis are the Vikalpa Vrittis. Mana Vrittis are the Bhavana Vrittis. And Mana Vrittis also are the projection. Doing Sankalpa Vikalpa, having emotions, having projections. This is the job of the mind. Is it not? With the mind only we do Sankalpa. Then we present it to the intellect. I want to go there. Intellect ko present karta. Intellect says, yeah, you can go. Or it says, no, it's raining, go later on. Or not required, you can manage at home. Intellect, when we present the mind's Sankalpa to the intellect, then the intellect thinks and tells us, gives us decision. And to give the decision, the intellect refers to Chitta of the past experiences and memories. And it is stored in the Chitta. The last time in rain when I went, I was drenched and it led to the cold and cough. That memory is there in Chitta. The intellect takes the reference of that Chitta and takes decision and conveys the mind. Then the mind makes the Indriyas do accordingly. Okay, but here mind is Sankalpa Vikalpa Atmakam Manaha. Then Bhavana Atmakam Mana. Bhavana means emotions. Then the third one is the projections. All these most beautiful aspects, if they are rightly utilized, are nothing but the expression of Udgita. The Omkara, the Paramatma only is expressing as the Mana, and Mana's all abilities, all functions, all faculties. In this way, they were trying to do the Upasana. This is the meaning of Mana Udgita Upasana, like the earlier one. Vacham Chakshuhu Shrotram Udgitam. Mana also. So when they were doing the Upasana like this, the Devatas, Asuras again came to know. Like Devaki Vasudeva in the jail. So yearly one by one child born, Kamsa comes to know, and he comes there and kills those children. Isn't it? That and this, if you relate, you understand what's happening in the outer and inner world. Asuras came to know that now again they are doing Udgita Upasana with the mind. They didn't touch the Udgita. They didn't touch the Devatas. They touched the mind, the faculty. Touch means hitting with Papa. Tadha Suraha Papmana Vividu. Then they hit the mind with the Papa. Now don't ask me what is Papa. Already last 5 days, every day we are discussing. Tasmatena Ubayagam Sankalpaniyam cha Asankalpaniyam cha Papmana hi esha viddaha Once hit by the asuras, now the mind goes out of track, becomes heavy, absolutely uncontrolled, and now you can see at individual level from birth till death, the entire life of mind, 24 hours, and the whole cosmos, I can use the word, is nowadays or now going through the hell type of living only because of the asuras functioning at the mind level. And I believe this much saying is enough for you for to understand further. I don't need to explain it all. Isn't it? Throughout our life, what lived life we have lived is it not the devil mind only? बताओ मन जिंदगी भर क्या कर रहा था? What was our mind doing? Only asuric things only, isn't it? Did we ever understand from the Shastras that what is the mind given for? What sankalpas, vikalpas the mind has to do? What emotions it must have? What projections it should do? Have you ever studied it all, first of all? We don't know only. Then we just left this mind for the asuras and they just overpowered and the mind has become asuri. And all these asura gunas you study in the 16th chapter of Gita. Asura functioning at our mouth level, at our eye level, at our ear level, at our mind level is equal to at our Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, Antakaran level in total through us Asura expressing. Gita 16th chapter Dambho Darpo Abhimanascha Krodaha Parushyameva cha Ajnanam cha Vijatasya Partha Sampadam Asurim. Again later on he says, I told you sufficiently Daivi. Asuri, I have not told you exhaustively. I am telling now. And he starts Pravrittim cha Nivrittim cha Janana Vidurasuraha Na Shaucham na Vichacharaha Asatyam Pratishtamte Jagadahuranishwaram Aparaspara Sambhutam Kimanyat Kam Etan Dushtimavastabhyaha Nashtatmanaha Alpabuddhayaha Prabhavanti Ugrakarmanaha Kshayaya Jagata Hitaha काममाश्रित्य दुष्पूरं दम्भमानमदान्विताः मोहात् गृहीत्वा सद्ग्रहान् प्रवर्तन्ते अशुचिव्रताः 85 or above asura gunas Bhagavan explains in 16th chapter. That's the portion when you study, you or I will become mostly joyful. Why? Because Gita में हमारे बारे में भी लिखा है. You understand? Our real picture painted. है ना? मन से see that 24 hours, be attentive, be conscious. Hope we are at least having that concentrating ability in the class while listening. अब क्लास में जहाँ ब्रह्म विद्या पढ़ा रहे, साधना पढ़ा रहे, even this if we cannot attentively listen, we are the biggest enemy to ourselves. So see, whole life, throughout life, right from being now, only kama vichara in the mind. Isn't it? Krodha, sankalpas only in the mind. And lust and passions and greeds and selfishnesses and hatreds and jealousies, they are all not Daivi. Yeah? Other than this, what have we done with our mind throughout life? And Kamadi Vikara, Ragadi Vikara, Bhogadi Vikara, the Dvesha with others, wanting to take revenge, wanting to destroy others. They are all Manasankalpa only. It's all Sankalpa of the Mana, means it hit by the Asura. Shastra never told all this. Shastra told only these positive Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhi or Adveshta Sarvabhutana. They are all Manasika Sankalpas. So all Dusankalpas in the mind or Durbhavanas in the mind. The Durbhavanas means the negative intentions, negative attitudes toward the world. Who has given us our own, the Asuras in us, whom we have promoted? We just left our mind to the Asuras. They have totally occupied. Again, I am telling you, we left our country to the Mughals. Thousands of temples they destroyed. Lakhs of human beings they killed. That's we have to know the history, no? Otherwise, you can't protect your sacred Sanatana Dharma. You cannot protect the humanity and its evolution. We have seen it again and again, even after independence and all. To whom we gave the power and what ruling and ruining is done, outside and inside. इतना केयरलेस है अपनी जिंदगी में. Spirituality teaches us to be careful with yourself so that you are sure to systematically walk. Now imagine in this very life itself, from the childhood till now, if we have at our antakarana level lived like the devatas, means the daiviya gunas, by now we might have realized the divinity only. Neither anybody taught us, nor we were mature to understand. Only allowed the asuras to dominate, at least from now onwards. Just now only close the eyes and see the mind's thoughts, sankalpas, kama vichara, bhoga vichara, asaktis. Why should we be attached to the objects, things, the beings, the situations, the outer world of places or names and forms or the time? क्यों इतना देश काल वस्तु व्यक्ति परिस्थितियों में हम इतने आसक्त क्यों हो गए? They are all asura gunas. Attached to the people and destroy, trouble them also, and you also suffer. Attached to the animals, trouble them and you also suffer. Attached to the objects and destroy the prakriti through that. These are all asura guna. We are not supposed to live life like that. I know. How to live then? The daiviya gunas. That is what is Shastra said. Oh, study Shastra then, there's no option. I cannot give everything just like that to you. No guru can give. You have to take it. In our classes from last 6 years, though, we are told 1,000 times more than others. We are lucky. We have never noted them. We have never done any homework. We took it for granted. That's our mistake. When all this gets stops, then you know the value of these classes. And that also I can't guarantee. Only if you are sensitive. If you are as casual and careless as during the classes, even after the हाँ कोई बाबा जी बोल रहे थे, हम भी कभी कभी सुनते थे, बस कोई जो फर्क नहीं है, जिंदगी चल रहा है, बढ़िया कारोबार गोइंग ऑन, पैसे आ रहे हैं, बच्चे सेटल्ड हो गए, बस बढ़िया चल रहा है. जहाँ खुद इधर उधर बॉडी प्रॉब्लम है, मैं मेडिसिन ले रहा हूँ, अब बढ़िया है. अब इफ somebody lives so casually the life, namaste, we got to end. So now homework for all of us, as we said, what is the daiviya way of living at our Jnanendriya, Karmendriya, Antakarana level? What is the asuric way of living at all this level? And what is happening in our life? Whom we are promoting? Contemplate on that as a homework today for a clear picture. Clear? Then the Udgita Upasana start doing now. And all faculties are nothing but the Paramatma Omkara expressing. But Paramatma has not come down to the faculty level. I told you the other day, today's episode, these topics are not to pull down Paramatma to the faculties level, rather divinizing the faculties. And evolving the faculties to the divine level is the purpose of the study, not pulling the Paramatma to the down level. Paramatma never becomes mind and he never does the Sankalpa Vikalpa. He is beyond that. Paramatma never became Indriyas and through that his function. No. All that is done by Maya. Paramatma is in its own pristine glory. Satchidananda Sandraya. That's it. Sarvatitaya. That's it. Sakshine. Every day we are chanting, na? Satchidananda Sandraya. Sarvatitaya Sakshine. Namah Shri Deshikendraya. Shivaya Shivagatine. We have to reach to that goal. For that, the faculties need not help me. I have to rise above them. But to rise above them, they cannot afford to be in the asura sthiti. So bring the faculties from the asura sthiti to the daiva sthiti. Then only we can go beyond them to realize the Brahman. That is the whole purpose. Subject is this, what we are discussing. In that, the upasana pradhanyata. Now in that, up to the mind vesa, when we come tomorrow, the bhashya of this we'll study. Then we go to the prana upasana, mukhya prana upasana. Very important topic. That's how the second adhyaya teaching us the Mukhya Prana Upasana. And then the next, second Khanda. For next Khandas also, they add to more and more information and inspiration, giving us picture. Now don't cry, Swamiji, I can't understand, I can't remember. Don't cry. If I come regularly first. Then do other upasanas during the daytime. Then pray to the Lord to give the abilities to study the Shastra, understand, and avoid all nonsense. This is how we have to. इसमें कोई alternative नहीं है. Nobody can do any favor in this. It doesn't work. No reservation facilities that are there here. There's no other way. Remember two things in life. There's no other way than spirituality for our evolution and moksha. Point one. Two, there's no other way that we have to change ourselves from what we are doing now to become spiritual. Don't look for any other alternatives. Other than spirituality, in the materialistic outer world of samsara, I can evolve and I can be mukta, become mukta. Never think that. It is impossible. First step mein mistake mat karna. Second is, I myself have to learn and keep on doing and grow. Nobody else can do it for me. And if you don't start now, you will never start. If you start and keep on doing and become habitually spiritual, you have conquered. Like now, we are habitually samsari. When we become habitually adhyatmika, then the growth keeps on happening. And if कोई habitually artha purusharthi hai, so throughout life he earns money. Somebody is habitually kama purusharthi, always indulgence. Somebody is habitually dharma purusharthi, goes on searching and doing the services, etc. One can be moksha purusharthi by habit. That we have to. I cannot give you, no God can give you. You have to create. अपने दिमाग ऐसा सड़ा हुआ है जानकर उसको ठीक कर लो फिर. That it is only doing the nonsense. Then come to this. Everywhere we have to realize we are allowing the asuras to dominate and we have to slowly start giving value to devatas. Then only. And the asuras won't keep quiet, they will keep on attacking. They create various organizations, youth organizations, they instigate them, and some of the youth are already spoiled mind hote hain. Isn't it? It is easy to influence them and they have nothing to do, no good background, not from a great spiritually patriotic cultural family. So they easily get affected. Then the adharma tries to again become powerful. The asuras. अब बाहर और भीतर लगे रहो is the joy of life. बस आखिरी सांस तक लड़ते रहना बस बाहर और भीतर. ऐसे some lives we go through, then we get the knack of slowly starting victorious positively. And we become victorious. Then that becomes a habit. At the upad level, always I am Daiviya, and at my own will, I am beyond the upadis, I am one with the Brahman. That's what the realization. What is the realization? At the self level, Aham Brahmasmi. At the Vyavahara level, the upadis are in my control. Daiviya only expressing through that. There is no chance given to Asura. Thank you. Om, 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 om. Om 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 Purnamadaha Shrutimatre Namaha Tatsat Brahmarpanamastu. Your homework starts right now. Class is over. Observe your all faculties, mainly the mind, whether the Asura entering and dominating or you are continuing the Daiva. Thank you.